Good morning, Jamie here with another top Gutenberg block editor tip for you. This one's that I'm showing you on the screen, how you can create this lovely, subtle and elegant fading in and out graduated background to a section within your pages. I actually saw this on this website, which is Anna Real, I hope I pronounced that right, Design, who do amazing themes for Gutenberg. Especially they're starting to build some full site editing themes. So if you're looking for themes, go and check out their website. But in specifically, what I liked on this site was this nice banner section. So I'm going to show you how to build that. Here's the one I've just built. It's pretty cool, right? So there's no plugins needed whatsoever. We're just using core Gutenberg Block Editor, some CSS, but I'm going to show you how you can generate your own colors. And it'll only take you 5 minutes, and then you can add it anywhere on your site. So here we go. Right, so there's just 3 simple steps to get this working on your own sites. The other thing I should have mentioned is you can also use this technique for the background of things like your product page. So this is using our WooBuilder Blocks plugin, and you can also add these lovely graduated backgrounds for pages and posts, or just sections. So it's, you can produce, this looks beautiful, right? So you can produce some really absolutely beautiful stuff. But as I said, there's just 3 steps to get this working. The first step is you go to this website, and I will put a link in the description below called gradientanimator.com. This is where you can create the CSS for your animated gradients, and you just go here and you have to pick your colors. So it's up to you how many you pick. I think I picked 3 normally, which seems to work. You just pick your colors, and here you see this little color picker. Okay, like so. Now I'm going to pick some quite extreme ones. You just click add color each time. Just make sure you do pick these colors, because otherwise it won't work. Hit preview, and then you'll get a preview of what it's going to look like. So it's a really cool tool. You can change the speed of the animation here and other things like the gradient angle and the scroll angle. And then this basically generates your CSS. This is what we're going to put into our sites. Now we just need to build up this section. And the way I did it on my site is I added the columns block to start with. So we're going to start by adding the columns block, because now you can actually add a block with just one column, which is basically just like a container essentially, and that's what we want. So you add that in, and then within there you just put your text. Now let me just see if I can just copy and paste this stuff in for speed. And I'm just using, in this instance, the paragraph block, and I'm sizing it accordingly. Okay, so you could add a heading block, but because we're using the paragraph block, it means we can just style it with a bit of tweaky code to choose kind of the right size. And then I just centered it, and I centered this one here, and then at the bottom here all I did was add the buttons block. And again, the shortcut to add a block is / and type the name of the block. Okay, and then I just put in my text. And if you did want to link that, you would just click on it and add the link here to where you want that to actually link to. I'm going to put in a false link just so we can see it work. And then I just need to center that. So again, you can use your 3 lines up here to select the top level, and then you'll see the alignment option here. Okay, and again, if you click onto the button, you'll see some options over here to style it. So you can choose outline, and you can do things like change the radius. So that's basically our section done. Oh, one more thing. We need to make this full width, which we do by selecting the top level columns block here. And then once you've selected that, which I've just deselected it, once you've selected that, then here you can set this to be full width. Okay. Now you could jump in here and make this text white and things like that. But if you do that, you won't be able to see it. So I'd rather do that in the CSS, because then if you want to make changes, because obviously if you make this color white, it kind of disappears, and it's hard then for anyone to edit. So personally, I think it's easier if you do that with a little bit of CSS. And then the other thing we need to do is we need to give the whole columns block, this is the vital bit, we need to give it its own CSS class. Okay, and in this case I'm going to call it Annie, which is that's the name that you make up basically, and I'll show you where you put that in a second. And then I just publish that. Now I've already got the CSS on this site, so when I click view page here, it should actually be working. And there we go. The only thing I forgot to do, can you see how it's at the top here? So this is a cool feature in Gutenberg now that you can vertically align your text. And again, we need to make sure we selected the top level using this. So we want to select the top level columns block here. And then once you selected that, it's this option here and you can align it to the middle. Again, you probably won't see much happening here, but when we update it and view the page, we should be good to go. Okay. Now in the CSS, all I did is you copy this code here. You can keep this exactly the same, but can you see where it says .css selector? You change that to the class name that you put in as the column class. So you need to make sure this bit here in advance, that is basically what you replace that CSS selector with. Okay, and I'll show you that if I go to my CSS that I've actually added into this page, and I'll actually try and put a link to my exact CSS. So if you just want to copy what I've done, you'll be able to do that. And then can you see here, all I've done is I've put .ani, which is the name of my class, my CSS class, and then all I've done is pasted in the CSS that I generated here. Okay, actually there's one more thing which is important, and that is this bit here. Let me show you this. So it's this bit here, minimum height. So if I take that out, can you see how it will just collapse into itself, because it basically, the text will just fit the column block. So you want the minimum height, and that just sets the height of this column. And you see if I adjust this to something like higher, see how it now goes bigger. So you can play with the minimum height setting, but you do need that, otherwise it's going to just squish in like this. And there we go. There's my finished, beautiful, animated, elegant, not brash, but subtle effect. And as I said, you can also do this behind your products if you're using our WooBuilder Blocks plugin. Same process. The only difference is with this, the CSS, you'll just need to grab, if you want to do it per product, you just need to grab the ID of the product, which you can get by hovering over the edit button when you're looking at the product, and it will show you a number. That's your ID of that. I'll show you that actually in a second. And then this is this is the convention you use. You just go .postID hyphen and then the ID of the product itself, and I'll show you quickly how you can get the ID of a page or a post or a product. So if you wanted to do it to the whole page, you just hover over edit page, and can you see right at the bottom down here, it's telling me a number. Likewise, if I go to my dashboard and go to product, let's say I'm using WooCommerce, go to any product here, quickly, and hover over it and on the edit, can you see I get the same thing down at the bottom? It tells me the ID, which is just a number basically, and that's what you use in your CSS. So there we go. That's how you can add subtle but beautiful fading gradients into Gutenberg. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see more Gutenberg tutorials, hit the subscribe button below, because I'm doing loads these days. And if you like this video, if you can give it a thumbs up, that'd be fantastic, because it just helps spread the word about Gutenberg and my tutorials. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.